Hey guys, Chris Rood here. Listen, on this video, I'm gonna tell you, or I'm gonna maybe ask you a few questions and show you that you may be right. You just may be an entrepreneur and you've been doubting yourself and invalidating yourself and thinking maybe you were, but in the back of your mind, like, I don't think I am. But entrepreneur, I know every entrepreneur asks themselves this, because I know I did. I did many a times. When I was younger, I would say, man, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know if I'm an entrepreneur. How the hell do I know if I'm an entrepreneur, right? Anyway, I sat out here for a few hours the other day. I was like, man, I'd like to make a video on entrepreneurs. Like, I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are doubting themselves. They're really entrepreneurs, and they probably think they're stupid and dumb because they didn't do good at school, and they think there's no way I could be an entrepreneur. I didn't get straight A's in school, right? So let's get started, right? The crew I got right here. Big Mama.
Hey.
Say hello. That's Big Mama right there.
Hey.
Big Mama Rood. Big Mama Rood's an entrepreneur too. But guys, just to give you a quick background, I've been an entrepreneur since I was probably in 5th grade, selling basketball cards and baseball cards right out of the back of my book sack, right? Didn't know what I was doing. I was like, man, I just always had to sell something. I was always like innovative when it comes to trying to make money, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was an entrepreneur, right? But I want to give you guys I want to give you 10, and there's more than 10, right? There's more than what I'm going to give you as far as these attributes, right? There's definitely more, but I kind of broke down, like, if you have these attributes, you're probably an entrepreneur and you don't even know it, right? So make sure you give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscription or a sub, all that good stuff. But let's get on into it. Let's hop in. So how do you know if you're an entrepreneur? So the first thing, man, that sun is bright. The first thing that you need to know is, first and foremost, is that you got to be a little crazy, right? You got to be a little off. If you're most entrepreneurs I know, they're a little off. They're not all there. Like, crazy in a good way though, right? Meaning, like, you kind of feel like you never fit in. You've always done things differently. You've gone about things in maybe a different manner. Or you never fit in with the crowds. That could be some of the, including myself, just have an abundance. A Sunday afternoon, I'm not here. That's another attribute that I know is a lot of. Typically hard-headed, meaning, you kind of do things your own way, right? You don't really like to be, I'd say, I wouldn't say you don't like to be, well, that number 4 is the next is don't like to be told what to do, right? Which kind of goes back to being hard-headed. But I would say most entrepreneurs are hard-headed and they do things the way they want them done, right? That's just how they are. They don't like to be told what to do. Number 4, they don't like to be told what to do. I know a lot of entrepreneurs just watching, they want to do their own thing. They have a set way of the way they do it, and that's just how they do it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Number 5, they can't keep a job. I know some of you guys out there probably can't keep jobs, right? I know I couldn't keep a job. Like, I literally just could not keep a job. Like, I cannot.
You can't be told what to do.
I can't, because it goes back to you can't be told what to do, right? And you're hard-headed. I couldn't keep a job. And I know most of the entrepreneurs that I knew, like, they just couldn't keep a job. Like, they were always getting fired or doing crazy shit. But this is a big one for me. Number 6, and I've learned this, and it's not just me, it's a lot of other entrepreneurs out there, because I've seen this over and over again, going to seminars, listening to other people speak. They all have a common thread. And that common thread is, for one, they're good, right? They weren't good at school, and they were labeled ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, all these crazy things.
Because they can't conform.
Because they can't conform. That's right, Mama. That Big Mama just got it right. They can't conform. Every time I go, like, for instance, I go to 10X GrowthCon every year, and it's like clockwork. It's crazy. The billionaire speakers, almost like repetitively, almost everyone, they all were terrible at school, and they got labeled ADHD and ADD and slow. Some of them mentally retarded. How is that? How is that these people that were labeled with all these learning disabilities and they're slow and their mental capacity wasn't there, become billionaires and hundreds of millionaires. How is that even possible, right?
They didn't feel in the box.
You know, it's just because they didn't fit in that mold of what society wanted them to be. Entrepreneurs are a special breed of cat, right? They're not like everybody else. So you watching this, you may be one of those guys. If you were labeled ADD, can't sit still, you know, can't study, can't do this, can't learn, you just may be an entrepreneur. Number 7, takes a lot of action and is not very detail oriented, but can make a decision fast. This is a big one too. Takes a lot of action. A lot of entrepreneurs I know, they don't have to like sit there and think about things. Like they look at it, they make a snap judgment decision, and they act, and they take lots of action on things. They don't have to sit there and think about it and get analysis paralysis. They don't have that engineer mindset, right? Most engineers are very analytical and they have to work with people and they got to figure everything out. And entrepreneurs are like the exact opposite. They look, they think, they decide, and they act. Or they know, or they think, or they know, they think, they decide, and they act, right? That's what I notice about most entrepreneurs. They don't have to figure it all out. They kind of, they figure, they commit to it, they make a decision, they start the process of what they need to do, and they figure it out as they go along, right? That's how they're able to get into constant momentum. Versus most people, they just can't even make a decision. They can't even act or do what they need to do. Sorry guys, the sun's super bright today. Give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear me, but the sun's super bright. But anyway, number 8, can handle risk in his mind very well. You know, he's a risk taker, right? Can handle risk in his mind very well, and he's a risk taker. I notice a lot of entrepreneurs can handle a lot of mental risk. I notice that people that have a job who can't, don't want to start their business, they can't handle mental duress, or they can't handle the stress of not knowing where their next paycheck is. A lot of entrepreneurs, they handle stress and mental pressure very, very well. That's another characteristic I've noticed about other entrepreneurs, myself, maybe you who are watching this. Entrepreneurs are, right? Number 9, very good with people. And I'm not saying and all these attributes are not this is a broad generalization. This isn't like exact science. This is just stuff I'm writing down that I'm noticing. I'm almost 40 years old. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm noticing these things as I get older, from my experience, from my kids, me, other entrepreneurs. These are just attributes, right? They're not 100% foolproof, right? There may be some that's kind of, not so. You may know an entrepreneur that doesn't have some of these attributes. I'm just saying overall, this is some of the things I've noticed. Number 9, very good with people, has great people skills. I notice really good entrepreneurs, they're good with people, man. They're good with communication. They weren't very good with, necessarily organizing their schoolwork, but they're very good with communicating with people. That's what I've noticed. It's just, you look at most entrepreneurs and why are they good at business? Why? Because they communicate very, very well. Very well. Lastly, last and most important, and I love this one, right? He has that entrepreneurial spirit. He has that thing that tells him he could do more. He's not doing enough. He's not living up to his fullest potential. I can remember when I was 25, 26 years old, I was in the shower. I was my wife. I was very successful. I owned 4 mechanic shops. I was probably making. I was 25, 26 at the time. Maybe I was about 26, 27. I was probably making $500,000 a year, and I was doing really well. And I told myself, man, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I could be doing more. I'm not living up to my full potential. I had this burning thing telling me, dude, you're not doing enough. Dude, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Or, dude, you're not living up to your fullest potential. And I know a lot of you guys watching this, I know you've had that feeling, especially if you wanted to be an entrepreneur, you were thinking about being an entrepreneur. The reason you're thinking about it is because you're not living up to your fullest potential, and you could be doing more, and you don't feel, I don't think you don't feel fulfilled inside as an individual, because you're not doing that, because you're invalidating what you probably should be doing, right? Maybe your mom and dad are telling you, oh, Johnny, don't start that business. The best thing to do is just go get a job. Boy, have I heard that before. When I first started my business when I was 22, know, my parents are pretty much, well, even my wife's parents are like, Chris, you don't want to do that. That's stupid. The best thing to do is just go work for somebody. Wow, what if I would have listened to them? I surely wouldn't have the life I have now. So you got to be careful who you get advice from. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being an employee, but what there is wrong with is if you're an employee, but you should be an entrepreneur. Listen, I just said, you're invalidating yourself if you're working for somebody and you know you shouldn't be, right? And you know you shouldn't be. You should be trying to figure out what you can do to try to go out there and create value in the marketplace. Be it, a service company. Listen, if I could do it all over again, the fastest and easiest way to start is to start a service company, which I did, but I wouldn't have got it. I started off changing oil out the back of my truck when I was 21 years old, trying to, start an oil change business. And I turned that into the biggest oil change franchise in my whole city, right? But if it's so easy to start a business these days, guys, what you need to do is understand you need to bring value to the marketplace. And if you don't have money, then you bring service as your value. Learn a trade. If I could do it all over again, I'd have learned how to do AC work. Like, seriously, those guys make jack, and no matter what the economy does, people are always going to pay for their AC to be fixed because nobody wants to be hot or super cold, right? But you can learn a service. You can learn landscapers. Wow, there's such a need for landscapers. I know guys making $200,000 and $300,000. I know guys making $500,000 and $600,000 as a landscaper don't even have high school diplomas. Don't get caught up in the fact that because you're not good at school, or your mom said you have to go to college or you're going to be a loser, or because you barely passed school. Guys, I cheated out of college. That's what I just said. I cheated way too much energy. I couldn't. Half the shit they teach in high school and college is all. Listen, if you learned kids are watching this, cover your ears right now. It's all bullshit. You don't need to learn it. It's all bullshit. Why do you need to learn algebra? Are you flying to the moon? No, you don't. Why do you need to learn calculus? Why do you need to learn all these things? Why are they not teaching kids how to sell, how to balance a checkbook, how to manage money, how to invest money, how to get into real estate, how to start a business, how to market? Why are they not teaching all these things? Because they're trying to create slaves, guys. They're trying to create slaves out of society. You need to learn how to become an entrepreneur, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you got that entrepreneur spirit. We're going to have another economic crash eventually here in the next couple of years. I just don't see how it's not going to happen. Everybody's calling, everybody's saying it. What's going to save you guys that have jobs is you going out there and creating value in the marketplace by starting a business and doing your own thing. And if you feel like you are an employee, then you better double down on figuring out how you can create an alternative source of income and how you can actually have multiple flows of income, because you can't make it on just one source of income, guys. We have Patty, how many sources? We got about at least 5 or 6 sources of income, huh? The wholesaling business, we flip some houses, my coaching company, my rentals. I have mobile home parks. My wife's my wife's a realtor. She's we got beach houses, which goes back to rentals. But like, you see all these different flows of income. We can't make it on just like one thing, because what if the economy crashes, right? I'm constantly trying to figure out new and better ways I can create more flows of income, because the more flows of income I have, the more peace of mind I have. I can sleep at night knowing that if one thing does bad, then I have this other thing over here that's still going to hold me up, right? So anyway, guys, if you have questions, concerns, post them in the comments, right? Post them in the comments. Let me know if you're an entrepreneur. If you're watching this, post in the comments after you watch this. Tell me what you're going to do to start your own business. There's so much opportunity out there, guys. Especially in the service industry. Like the 21st century entrepreneur is a service-oriented entrepreneur. It's hard to start a product-based business when you first get started, because you have to have a lot of capital, right? But it's not hard to learn a service or a trade, right? So go out there, learn a trade. If you don't know a trade, then go work for somebody and learn that trade. Go learn from the best, work for him for a year or two, and then go on your own. That's the way to do it, guys. Don't get caught up in thinking you got to go to college, right? shit, if things get really bad, Big Mom, we'll put you on the oldest trade there is out there. Mom, what's the oldest trade out there?
Like tomorrow.
We'll put her on the streets. We'll put her on the streets
I have
out
a
there.
college degree. I mean, but I made more money waiting tables
Listen to
than
that.
I ever made in college.
We both have
Here's
college
my
degrees. We both have college degrees. And if
Our
I
parents paid to be specializing in something else.
listen, there's 1.5 trillion dollars in debt, student debt right now that cannot be paid off. It's ridiculously. They're strapping all these young kids thinking they have to go to college with all this debt, and they can't even pay it off. They can't even get a job that pays enough for them to better pay it off. It's a travesty, and it's criminal. And I'm here to tell you, like, I'm no super billionaire. I'm not worth $100 million, but I'm an entrepreneur, right? I live a great life. I have, we've built some substantial wealth in the past, 15 years I've been, 15 years, 16 years I've been an entrepreneur, 17 years I've been an entrepreneur, and I wouldn't take anything back. You don't have to become a billionaire to have a super successful life. If you start your own business, it's not hard to make $200,000 or $300,000 or $500,000. It's really not.
If you work on personal development and networking, you can do way better than just go and get a college degree. Just by knowing the right people and being the right
and hiring a mentor. If you hire a mentor, you can hire a mentor for a fraction of what it costs. Guys, I've got people in my program that hire me to teach them about real estate, and they pay me pennies compared to what a college degree costs. And I'm teaching them how to make 100, 200, 300, 400. I got even one student that made 750,000 in his first year. Now that's not typical. He's a freak of nature, but it's doable and it's possible. It's possible, right? So understand, I made this video for you guys that have that deep-seated, like, you got that they call it the entrepreneur spirit. I've always had it, and I've always known I've had it. Like, it's just this thing, right? This thing that nags on you, like, that I need to be doing something. And this job that I'm working at is not cutting it. Get out there and stop and validate yourself. Go out there and get it. And look, if you want to become a real estate entrepreneur, Facebook at Chris Rood Entrepreneur, or on Instagram at Real Estate Rood, right? Inbox me. Let's have a conversation. Real estate is where it's at, guys. I've done a lot of different businesses. I had the biggest oil change franchise in my town, car wash. I've sold used cars. I've sold golf carts. I had a rim and tire shop. What else I did, Mama? Most of them failed. But listen, it's okay. It's all right. All you need is one or two really good business. All you need is one grand slam business to make it, right? And you may have to try out a few different things. You may fail at your first two businesses. Just don't stop. Like, what you need to do is find your unique ability and see what you're good at. Find out what's needed and wanted in your marketplace, and find out what your unique ability is, what you're good at, and build your business around what your personality is, and roll with that, right? So I don't think I have any questions. But anyway, guys, if you're interested in my program, my real estate program, you want to be a real estate entrepreneur, go to chrisrood.com, book a call. I'd love to help you. If I could do it all over again, I'd have started the AC company, and I'd have gotten into real estate even earlier. Listen, you want to have a business, and you want to take all that money and you want to put it into real estate. That's what the rich do. They have a business that's a cash cow, whatever it may be, a software company, or they sell a product, and the profits from that, they put it into real estate. I just so happen, my product is wholesaling real estate, right? My product is heavily discounted off-market properties to motivated sellers that I sell to investors. And the profits I get from that, I dump it back into the deals that I get from a wholesaling business via, single-family homes, apartment buildings, mobile home parks, which we're heavily invested in mobile home parks. That's our thing. That's what we really like to invest in. But you see, that's your blueprint, guys. That's your map. But understand, it ain't easy. It ain't for the faint of heart. There's a lot of sleepless nights, blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, it's not for everybody.
And it's good to have your partner on
your side. Your wife's got to be on board. She actually wasn't on board when I first started my entrepreneur's journey. She was kind of like, dude, what are you doing?
You had to talk me into it.
I had to talk her, and she had to see that I was...
Once you started making money, I'll let it go.
But I wasn't really making...
You know what you're doing.
But I wasn't really making money when I first got started. That's the thing.
I was making more money.
She was making more money. She was making more money waiting tables. I would come back for like $20. And, I changed one guy's oil out the back of my truck. But I turned that into a business. I kept promoting myself. and that's what it's about. It's about if you can get really good at marketing, guys, and you can build a brand, and you can really become great at sales, you can really become a really good entrepreneur. The greatest qualities as an entrepreneur is going to be people skills, which is sales skills, being likable, and marketing. Right? If you can master sales and marketing, you can be a really good entrepreneur. And being very ethical, and obviously you got to be technically sound and savvy at what you do. You got to be a good whatever it is that you're doing, a good carpenter, a good landscaper, a good electrician, a good plumber, a good HVAC guy, which is AC service.
But find somebody who's like doing awesome in that, and then
yeah, shadow them.
Like,
Anyway, guys, hope you're doing good on this Sunday afternoon. Just thinking about you, I want to give value to you guys. I want to help you guys because I know.
You know what I feel sorry for?
Those
people
for,
on Sunday afternoons that dread going to work on the Monday.
Yes.
I really my heart hurts for those people, and
yes.
I have a lot of friends who do that, and I'm like, man, it's already hard being a parent. On top of having the stress, that part of life.
That is such a good point. Like, guys,
you need to do something like.
I can't wait for Mondays. I can't wait. Like, I'm over here on Sunday. Like, I got so much to do. Like, I worked a little bit today because, see, work is not work for me, guys. Work is play. There's a difference, right? Work is play for me. When you adopt that mindset of work is play, then work becomes your art. It becomes your canvas. It becomes your backdrop and your landscape. And I'm just drawing my picture of my life, and I'm creating it. It's a way for me to express myself. Most people hate work. They think it's like because they go into a job. It's a job because they're not fulfilling their purpose and their true. Yeah, and they're not in control. Maybe they work for a shitty boss. Who knows? I mean, you definitely. And I'm not saying like this video is not to downgrade.
No, because there's people. My mother loves her job. She loves.
Some people don't want to be an entrepreneur. And let's be real. If we were all entrepreneurs, we wouldn't better run a business because we'd have any employees. You got to have all types of people. But I'm an entrepreneur, so I made this video for other entrepreneurs who are struggling because they're maybe at a job and they're miserable and they like don't know what to do. I'm telling you, you can do it. Start off slow, start off small, find something that you like, have some interest in, master it, become an expert at it, and then monetize it. Right? It's as simple as that. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, post them. Any concerns, I'll come back and answer them. But that's a great point, Patty. You know.
I feel sorry for a lot of my friends like that.
Most people dread Sundays. We back? Yep. Okay, we're back. Anyway, the Wi-Fi got messed up. Anyway, guys, I had to come back in the house because it disconnected. But listen, you can do this if you really have the heart and the drive and the discipline and consistency. And you can discipline yourself to do the right thing and to work like a mule, you can become an entrepreneur. So anyway, love you guys. Hope you're doing well. If you have any questions, concerns, hit me up. And if you want to be a real estate entrepreneur, Rood.com. Peace.